Ladies and gentlemen, but mostly gentlemen, it's time for us to dive back into Civilization VI Rise and Fall with Korea. We're jumping off in a new game. This time we're starting off at turn 31, and our empire is off to a fantastic start. I've got a new strategy in mind and a whole new perspective on the way this Civ is supposed to work and how we can best manipulate it, so I'm excited to push this one as far as it can possibly go. We have met two other civilizations, Petra of Russia and Macedonia, which is not the worst thing in the world. I usually don't have problems with Petra in any of my campaigns, but Macedon, we're going to have to build walls and make sure we have defenses for when he attacks, so we'll definitely need some archers in the near future as a purely defensive fortification. But for our empire, we've got a lot of juicy campuses that are going to come relatively soon. The first of which is going to go here. We've got one in our main city, New Lake City, already up on this tile, and it's surrounded by 3 hills, and it's going to have a spot for either a farm or maybe a government plaza. I haven't decided just yet. But my perspective on Korea is it's a very fun civilization. And sorry, my game just bugged out a little bit. But right, my perspective on Korea is that it's a very interesting civ, but not in the same way Genghis Khan is interesting. He's got this very unique mini game that goes on that no other civilization has to play. And he does it with the pseudo-espionage that goes on with diplomatic visibility, and that gives him additional combat strength. It's very fun to manipulate that characteristic. And coming into Korea, who has basically no unique playstyle other than her districts, I thought I was going to be a bit bored with her for that reason. But it wound up being the exact opposite. The way you have to change your thought process in order to optimize your district placement is a lot of fun. Because I've been playing Civilization for a very healthy number of hours, or maybe unhealthy, who knows. And there's a certain way to do things. There's a certain way to place your districts. There's a general consensus as to how you're supposed to play the game. And Queen Seondeok completely breaks that, flips it on its head, and forces you to try something a little different. And that's primarily what's having me enjoy her so much. Because, wow, we found 2 tribal villages. Because overall, I want to say she's not that she's not that fun if you're not interested in making pretty cities. Because my biggest thing with her is that I like trying to get the most beautiful looking campus district that I possibly can. And the surrounding tiles as well. I just want it to look visually pleasing, and that's a fun challenge for me. In addition to manipulating the bonuses that you get, that's also a challenge. But, you know, because you're not playing any sort of unique game where, if you go Gorgo, for example, she's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum to Korea in the sense that she's a culture-based civilization. But she has to play a mini-game in order to maximize her benefits, because every time she gets a combat victory, she gets culture based on the amount of combat strength that the unit lost that she was fighting. So it encourages you to fight, and you want to almost constantly be at war so you can manipulate that benefit, and you're playing essentially a mini game when you're playing with Gorgo. But there's no real mini games going on with Seondeok. It's just kind of the basic stuff plus a slightly new take on the district placement. So it's overall not the craziest thing in the world. Now, the next thing we're going to build in New Lake City is an encampment. Actually, I'm not sure, because an encampment would be phenomenal for our defenses, and this city could be the one that pumps out a lot of our military-focused stuff, because they do have a pretty healthy amount of production. So you know what? Yeah, we'll go for an encampment, and you know what? Yeah, we'll go for a barracks afterwards as well, because that'll give us a housing. There's really nothing wrong with building a barracks. That feels good. And our production of the campus district just finished in Science Hill 2.0. And what we're going to do is get right to work on a library. We have Pengala established in the city, and he has the researcher benefit, so we get extra production towards campus buildings in the city. And what I'm going to try to do is transfer him city to city, and he's just going to come with the plans. Be like, look, this is where you put the shelves. This is where you put the math textbooks, and he's going to whip us all into shape. And that's going to be very... I think that'll be beneficial. We won't be getting his passive benefit 100% of the time, which gives us increased science and culture in the current city, but I think the extra production that he'll provide will more than make up for that lack. Now, the next thing we have to do is choose a new government type, and because I don't foresee us fighting anytime in the near future, I'm going to go for something not so aggressive. Classical Republic is fun for the extra great person points. That'll help secure some scientists. We also have Divine Spark as our Pantheon, so we're going to be getting a ton of those anyway. Autocracy is one of my favorites because I love building wonders. And there's a couple that I want to try for, but I'm going to want a little bit of extra production. Oracle is amazing. A Panda, decent. You get envoys when you build it, and you get envoys whenever you build a wonder. It also has great work slots. And it looks pretty. I kind of like the way it looks, so that's the main reason I would want to build it. But let's find out if Stonehenge has been taken already. It probably has been, but if Stonehenge hasn't been taken, then I'm going to build it and get a religion. For no reason other than to fuck with the AI. So we are going to go for an autocracy. So we'll have that extra production towards wonders. And just in case I do go for a wonder in the next couple of turns, I'm going to put on the policy for it. And the other military policy we'll swap in is... I think Agogi will be fine for now. We're not really hemorrhaging money, but we will do pretty soon because we don't have a substantial gold income. We don't have any commercial hubs as of right now. So yeah, man, the gist of it is I like Korea a lot, but I don't imagine I'm going to play her very often. She's definitely not going in the top 5, and the main reason for that is that she isn't as unique as I would like her to be. Besides, if I want to change up the way I place my districts, there's not all that much incentive for me to play her. So she's cool, but not cool enough, I guess is what I'm getting at here. And that's a shame because she is very powerful. And we'll talk more about her unique unit once we get it. But I don't have as many kind words to say about that.
I shot an arrow.
And you know, this is some super basic advice, but don't ignore barbarians. I was playing a different campaign the other day, and I ignored a barbarian camp, and they basically destroyed my entire empire without breaking a sweat, and it was kind of frustrating. So don't ignore barbarians. Actively hunt them down and kill them like the savages they are. Now, in New Lake City, we are actually low on population, or low on housing, so we're going to have to get a granary probably before the barracks so we can get that. 2 housing, is it that it gives? Yeah, 2 housing. So we'll get the encampment, granary, barracks. Yeah, I think the biggest struggle for any Civ game is trying to have your cities constantly growing. You never want to get it to this point where it says 13 turns till growth because the housing is basically capped. He wants to trade one. Come on, give me a little more. He's just probably going to declare war on me anyway, so I don't want to give him any help. So yeah, making sure that your cities are constantly growing and never one population away from the cap is, for me, is one of the hardest things, because there's always it always feels like there's something that I forgot to build or that I could have built a little sooner. And it's partly an issue with my own playstyle, as I tend to prioritize food instead of production early on, so my cities grow faster. So really there's not much I could do to stop it. So we just founded our new city. I'm not going to name it yet. I'll think of something later. But the first thing we should build here is a granary, and then go straight for ancient walls so we can defend against any seaside invaders. And now that we cleared out the barbarian camp, we can bring our warriors back home and continue improving tiles. A lot of busy work going on in our empire. So next up, there aren't many ocean tiles that need improvement around this city, so I could forego researching sailing for a while. So the next thing we'll do is the wheel. I don't know if any of my cities need the wheel, actually, so I might But I'll go for the wheel, and then I'll go for construction. So wheel, horseback riding, construction, because maybe, just maybe, I can get the boost for games and recreation. Right, alright. Now it's time for us to actualize the strategy of the super mobile Pengala. He looks like he could use a little workout anyways. He got those big puffy cheeks, eating too much curry. We're going to reassign him into Dead Village, and as soon as he gets there, I'll start work on the library. So this sort of constant ring around the rosy with Pengala, it seems like a pretty solid idea, and we'll start churning out some archers for our defenses. We're going to need a lot of them because we've got plenty of vulnerable places across our empire. And for Science Hill, I'm going to need builders to chop down trees, improve tiles, and plenty of other things, so I'm going to go for a builder. Only 2 turns, not bad. My production is getting pretty good, man. I like this. I like this a lot. And we can bring our warriors back home, and they'll soon become swordsmen. But the next thing that we're going to do is possibly consider settling near these crabs and these ocean tiles, because money is a problem for us. So a city here and another one right here would be very beneficial for our financial success. I mean, eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll have this entire area just covered in our own cities. Because we've got the free land, we should definitely take advantage of it. So, let's go to the next turn. Oh, units need orders. Scout. Now, as we're churning out these archers, our unit maintenance cost is going to go higher and higher, so I'm going to switch off discipline finally in place of conscription to reduce the unit maintenance cost and save us a whole buttload of trouble. And because I honestly don't think I'm going to go for a wonder. Actually, maybe I should think about it. Hold on. Before I change my policies, let me put one final thought into whether or not I'm going to build a wonder. Oracle's still there, but 10 turns is a bit long to invest, and I don't have enough builders around who can just rapidly chop stuff down to shave off that time. So you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to go for a wonder right now. So we'll change up our policies. Switch off discipline for conscription. Keep a Gogi on. Remove Couvre for the Great Scientist point generator. And just like that, confirm, we're going to claim a Great Scientist. And this one, coincidentally, provides us with a library, so we can actually let Pengala rest in Dead Village once he gets there. So what we'll do is use our Great Scientist to instant build a library in the next turn. So that's great. Pengala can take a load off his tired feet because he's been walking all day from city to city teaching us about them books. And I think the scout has used up his usefulness, so I think I'm just going to fortify him here and keep him as an early warning system for if Russia sends the Red Army after us. So next up, we've got coffee to improve in Science Hill. So these guys are going to be drinking coffee and reading books all day long, and some people are going to be slaving away in the mines. And we finished our first archer. We can bring him up to the New Lake City. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to get attacked from anywhere. I'm going to build the archers anyway, because make no mistake, you should always have archers in Civilization 6 on deity difficulty. Always. But I don't think I'm going to need them. So let's go ahead and build this library. Boom. That's amazing. That's my favorite Great Scientist. There's another one that instant builds a university, so we want to get him too if it's a possibility. For Science Hill, their population is a bit stagnant right now, so we got to do something about that. But first things first, Ancient Walls Monument, and those will get finished pretty quickly as we chop down some resources. So we'll chop these trees, or rather chop this rainforest, improve the coffee. Now hold on 1 second. I gotta think about something. Maybe I won't chop down the rainforest. There's a specific wonder that I've never built, and it's basically the rainforest version of Petra, the Chichen Itza, which I believe I said correctly, which is a surprise. And it gives +2 culture to all rainforest tiles for the city, and +1 production for every rainforest tile. And I kind of want that, because it's just like Petra. So maybe I shouldn't chop down all these rainforests. Oh gosh. It's happening again, guys. I'm getting obsessed with a stupid world wonder that I shouldn't be obsessed with. I'm gonna go for it. So here's what we need. Alright, here's what we need to do in order to get the here's what we need to do to get the Chichen Itza. We're gonna go recorded history, games and recreation, defensive tactics, civil service, feudalism, guilds. Growing a city to population 10 is going to be tough, but I want to get that boost, and we have a lot of turns in order to get there. Feudalism, not difficult, just need to build a couple more farms. Not difficult, just need to build a couple more farms. Just need to build a couple more farms. Guild, build 2 markets. All of these things are very doable. The Chichen Itza will be mine. Have I not built a single farm across my entire empire? What the f... I don't have a single farm in my empire. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna do a little montage right now because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to boost feudalism, but if I can, it'll be awesome.
It is the mark.
Oh damn it! It's there's just not enough time to get the farms. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. Doesn't matter. I messed up anyway a little bit. The feudalism civic is basically 1 culture away from completing, so who cares if we boost it or not? It's not a huge deal. So we're gonna found our next city, and obviously it's gonna be called Bananaburg. Bananaburg. Because we've got 2 bananas in the city, and we're gonna start improving these tiles very rapidly. We've got an army of builders coming from Liang, so they've got a lot of charges, and there's gonna be a lot of improvements to make. We could improve this lumber mill because it's next to a river, so that means it would give bonus production, but I'm probably just gonna chop it down and put a farm there. We'll get right to work on a granary monument, and we'll leave it at that for now.
You can't go around arresting the Thieves Guild. I mean, we'd be at it all day.
Okay. We finally got the guild civic, and that feels awesome. Now it's time for us to be very disappointed when we find out that another civilization has already built the Chichen Itza. Oh my god, they haven't. Okay. 12 turns. Cross your fingers, people. Oh my god, another civilization built the Chichen Itza.